Right, so we're supposed to read 2022 paper. So the first thing, consider the quadratic equation that where p and q are both positive integers. Express the sum of the roots and the product of the roots in terms of p and q. So we know alpha plus beta, because that's the sum of the roots, minus b over a, minus 4p over pq squared, which is 4p over pq squared, which is 4 over q squared. Alpha beta, wait, what am I doing? Hold on. Right, minus over q, my bad. So you'll get 4p over q, and then alpha beta is c over a, which is pq squared over q, which is pq. Determine a value for q such that the sum of the roots is equal to the product of the roots. So we will get 4p over q is equal to pq, cross multiply. 4p is pq squared, cancel out these. 4q squared, q squared of 4 is 2. So what about minus 2? They said in the question that it is a positive integer. So notice it is alpha beta, but it just worded a bit different. Whenever you see sum and product of the roots, you must think alpha and beta. All right. Next one. If the sum of the roots of the equation is 20, use your answer from A part 2 to determine the value for P. So alpha plus beta is 4P over Q. And they say 20, 4P over 2. 40 is 4P. So P, 40 over 4 is 10. And now they gave us it is qx squared minus 4px plus pq squared equal to 0. So now we'll put in the values. So 2x squared minus 4 by 10x plus 10 2 squared. 2x squared minus 40x plus 40 equal to 0. All right. And notice here, right? So 3 and 2, 5 and 1, 6 and 1, 7. So it should take me 7 minutes in total, which it did, right? Yeah, it more than took me. It took me a little less, right? But for you all, use that as a guide, right? Yeah, it's 100 marks. So if you take a mark a minute, 100 marks, 100 minutes. When you finish the paper, you'll have 15 minutes to check over. All right. So series is given like that. You'll get T2 over T1 is minus 5 over 25, is minus 1 over 5. T3 over T2 yeah, you can use that method, the AC equals B squared, but Up to you. T3 over T2 is 1 over minus 5, is minus 1 over 5. T3, sorry, T4 over T3, 1 over, sorry, minus 1 over 5 over 1, minus 1 over 5. And T5 over T4 is 1 over 25 over minus 1 over 5, which is minus 1 over 5. So since they're all the same, R is constant. Therefore, it is a GP. Right, so notice here I test all four because I have the time to, right? You can, nah, let me not say that. Do all four because, well, yeah, do T2 over T1, T3 over T2, T4 over T3, T5 over T4. Right, it's sum to infinity, S infinity, A over 1 minus R, 25 over 1 minus 1 over 5, 25 over 6 over 5, which is 125 over 6. Right, and that's, wait, no, so now one more for question one, all right. Now, of course, y'all stop me whenever, right? But I know y'all have been using this to practice, so but I just showed you how you would approach something like this, right? Right. This one. A recent university student was offered a starting salary of 720. So, right, A is 720,000. Let's say, all right. With an increase of 5,000, is it a rate? No, so I'll put D. 5,000. Determine the number of years to the nearest whole number it would take for her annual salary to be 20% greater than the salary in the first year. So they want when Tn is 120% of E. Right? So notice how I interpreted the question there. I write what they give me. That is 720,000. My D is 5,000 and then determine the number of years. So we don't know what N is. That it would take for her annual salary to be 20% greater than the salary. Notice if they use the sum, then you'd have to use SN, right? I mean, obvious thing is obvious, right? But yeah. Right. So A plus N minus 1 D is 1.2 by A. A is the first term. D is the common difference. So you get 720,000 plus N minus 1 by 5,000 is 1.2 by 720,000. So n minus 1 by 5,000 is 700 and, sorry, 864,000 minus 720,000. So n minus 1 is 144,000 over 5,000. N minus 1 is 28.8 and 29.8. So that'll be approximately 30 years. So imagine for them to get a 20% increase, that'll be 30 years. But if I work it for 720,000, I will never complain. Right? 720,000 divided by 12, that's 60,000 a month. Yeah, I wouldn't complain about that either. All right. The question, look at all our questions. Do you think you'll finish that in 15 minutes? Give yourself the check and see how you can do it, right? A polynomial expression is divided by x plus 1 and x minus 2 and has the same remainder. Yeah, right? So what I'd recommend, start with your strongest topic. So like, let me say polynomials is your strongest topic. Start with that because once you start to catch you start to catch a momentum, you start to catch things quick. Trust me, right? That's how it works. So f of minus 1 is 2 by minus 1 cubed minus 3 by minus 1 squared minus c by minus 1 plus d, and that is 64 minus 2 minus 3 plus c plus d, 64. So c plus d is minus 5 over 69, right? That's equation 1. Equation 2. F of 2 is 2 by 2 cubed minus 3 by 2 squared minus c by 2 plus d, and that is 64. So that's 16 minus 12. So 16 minus 12 minus 2c plus d, 64 minus 2c plus d, and carried over it is 60. It's equation 2. So now we're going to have c plus d, 69, minus 2c plus d, 60, minus both of these, minus c, minus 2c becomes 3c. It's 9, so c is 9 over 3, 3. C plus d, 69, 3 plus d, 69, d, 69 minus 3, 66. All right, now again, I haven't encountered anyone who um who really gets trouble with this as much, right? You could kind of reason it out. Right, okay. This one, root 25 over root 45. Remember, you break it down into root 5 by 5. Why I do that? Because I know I have root 5 on the top. And then break down this as root 9 by 5. So I'll get root 5 over root 9, root 5. This cancels with this. Root 5, square root of 9 is 3. So a lot of people has asked me, so why don't you just put root 25 as 5? Because that's not what they're looking for, right? If I tell you prove it's 2x over 2, you'll just say, so you just cancel that. No, that's not what they're asking for, right? Just remember that, okay? Nobody in the exam should get a completion of the square question wrong, right? So E6, E12, C minus 18. Yeah, I'll go. All right. A into x plus b over 2a squared plus 4ac minus b squared over 4a. Some of you always work it as h is b over 2a and k is 4ac minus b squared over 4a. Both are accepted, right? So that'll be 6 into x plus 12 over 2 by 6 squared plus 4 by 6 by minus 18 minus 12 squared over 4 by 6. 6 into x plus 1 squared minus, I could say plus actually, 24 by 18. All right, so 18 by 18 is 324. 324 plus 72 minus 432 minus 144 over 24. 6 x plus 1 squared plus 432 divided by 24 is 18 minus 144 divided by 24, that's 6 minus 12. Yeah, minus 12. Using the expression derived in C part 1, determine the roots of g of x. Oh crap, you had to add them. Sorry, so that's minus 18 minus 6 is minus 34. Right, yeah, good, good. Yeah, correct. My bad. Just remember, I don't have my calculator, right? So just, yeah, take it a bit easier on me, please. So when they say using the expression, you can't just use your regular factorization. You have to go 6 into x plus 1 squared minus 24 is 0. 6 into x plus 1 squared is 24. X plus 1 squared is 4. So you'll get x plus 1 is the square root of 4. So x plus 1 is 2. x is 1. X plus 4, x plus 1 is minus 2. X is minus 3. You have to use this form here to do that. And another thing you have to remember is that whenever you find the square root of a number, it is the plus or minus root. All right. And then they will ask you to sketch the graph. You don't know how to sketch a graph, right? I'll do it here because, yeah. So, is minus 3, 1, and the minimum point is all the way down here. Minus 24, minus 1, something like that. Yeah, something like that, right? Right. Or the minus 1 because remember the min point is minus h key, which is, so h is plus 1, so it'll be minus 1 minus 24. Though, and for the max value is the same thing, minus h key. The min or max point is minus h key, right? So, correct, yeah, yeah. No, I talk about is max or min point, and the max slash min value is key. Right. So this is the one where I tell you, remember, the center is minus h key. Is it minus g minus f? which is, I remember it's x squared plus y squared plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c equals 0. All right, so we would get g, that's the equation of a circle, right? So remember the one they give in the formula sheet is the confusing one. This is the one you're supposed to remember, right? So you would get 2g is 4, so g is 2. 2f is minus 8, so f is minus 4. And c is minus 10. So we'd get now minus 2 minus minus 4, which is minus 2, 4 as the center. And the radius is the square root of g squared plus f squared minus c. Square root of 2 squared plus minus 4 squared minus minus 10. Square root of 4 plus 16 plus 10, which is the square root of 30.
So for the for C, what did you get? Minus 10.
Yeah, I don't know how I got minus 10 either. So this should just be that's why. I jumped straight to it. That's why. Which is square root of 10. Yeah, my bad. You all got that? Yeah. Right. So the first part, this is the equation of the circle, right? So what you have to do is compare the G and the F. Right? When you solve your G, solve your F, and your C, you plug them into the equation. Center is minus G minus F, and your radius is square root of G squared plus F squared minus C. Because that's just the form, right? The center is negative because that's just the form. It's like, you know how the equation of a quadratic is minus b plus or minus, yeah, just minus, right? Determine the equation of the tangent to the circle at the point. So the first thing we do is find the gradient. So the gradient is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 between that and the center. So that is 4 minus 5 over minus 2 minus minus 5. So it gets minus 1 over 3. Then we'll have the gradient of tangent is minus 1 over m. minus 1 over minus a third is 3. So we have the gradient of the tangent, and the point P is minus 5, 5. So you'll have y minus y1 is m, x minus x1, y minus 5, 3 into x minus minus 5. Y minus 5, 3 into x plus 5. Y minus 5, 3x plus 15. Y is 3x plus 15 plus 5. Y is 3x plus 20. No, right? So very good. So the gradient, it don't matter which one is y2 or y1. Just make sure the y2 matches with and the x2 match up together, right? Right. So if they give you 2 points on a circle, that's a very good question, right? What if they give you something like this and they give you the two endpoints, right? You'd have to go here and here. The midpoint, the midpoint would be the center, midpoint would be the center, and half the length would be the radius. Now, what's the length of a line? Length of a line is equal to square root of y2 minus y1 squared plus x2 minus x1 squared. Yeah. So remember, half the diameter is the radius. All right. Oop. Rotate. Rotate the next. Rotate again. They just have to be matching. The y2 doesn't have to be specific. What I'm saying is like if you choose, so like for example, if for this one, not rotating again. But yeah, like if I choose my first point as 4 minus or minus 2, 4, then my y1 has to be 4, and my x1 has to be -2. That's what I mean, like they have to be matching, right? They have to be matching. They don't have to be specific. The vectors are such that show that they are perpendicular. If they are perpendicular, the dot product is 0. So perpendicular means dot product is 0. Parallel means one is a multiple of the other. So you really get through here, like in this one, and I feel all you're gonna get through again. This 5 marks, right? Ox dot oy is 4 times 1 plus 1 times -4, which is 4 minus 4, which is 0. So since dot product is 0, they are parallel. All right, take nice. All right, this one. Sorry, they are perpendicular. Thank you. Right, so you have this diagram here. They want the area of the shaded region. So the area of shaded region is equal to area of sector minus area of triangle, which is a half r squared theta minus a half r squared sine theta, which is a half 10 squared by 0.5 minus a half 10 squared sine of 0.5. Now, here's the thing, right? Make sure you calculate in radians now, please. I've fed up seeing people in my own exam leave a calculator in degrees, and when they solve, they mess it up, right? Make sure you calculate in radians so you could do this properly. So you get, what's that? 100 divided by 4, 25 minus 55 sine 0.5, 23.97. So you get 1.03 cm squared. Right, make sure. So put your questions in, put your calculator in radians for the sectors, right? That's the most important one to put your calculator in radians. So sectors, right? Right. We did this one already, right? Start with the left-hand side. Cos of theta plus theta is cos theta minus sine theta, cos squared theta minus sine squared theta, which is cos squared theta minus 1 minus cos squared theta is cos squared theta minus 1 plus cos squared theta to cos squared theta minus 1. Follow square. Right? Oh, by the way, those who did bio, right? Just let me know in the chat how it was now. Let me not because I heard it was good. I heard it was actually real good.
So
But
that test was like a form 3 progress test.
okay, that's good. Nice. All right, so curve gonna be high, but you all will do real good. It's good. Let's hope advance is the same because physics apparently came easy. Bio came easy. So it looking like the sciences coming easy. That's good.
So physics ain't gonna matter.
Well, we're talking it into existence, right?
So
Amen.
magnetism and dread, you know.
We're talking it into existence. We have physics, advanced, chem, bio, everything gonna be easy, right? Except Spanish. Yeah, Spanish is a C, but we will let's study better, right? -1 plus cos theta plus 1 is 0. Okay, well, all right. Well, you see everything coming easy, right? And tomorrow you will come out of the exam and say, sir, we mash up that exam. Sir, bring on, like, I don't need lunch, sir, because that was food. And you all would just be like, sir, we have this. And I'll say yes, right? Let's remember that. All right. Nah, exam are gonna mash you all up. Trust me. Cos theta is 0. Theta is do I have that right? Nice one. Cos theta is pi over 2, 3 pi over 2. 2 cos theta plus 1 equals 0. Cos theta minus a half. The reason I can skip through it is because, well, we did it before, right? Theta is pi over 3. So that is 2 pi over 3. 5 pi over 3. All right, so no. So when we look here, this is the range, right? It's between 0 and 2 pi. If it was between like 0 and pi, then we'd ignore this one, this one. But it is between 0 and 2 pi, so yeah, do that. All right. Okay, so yeah, so put your calculator in radians here because your range is in radians. If it was in degrees, your calculator would be in degrees. Very good question, right? Or how do I get those second values? I did it in Saturday's class, right? The same question. I don't want to be repetitive, right? So if you're not sure, just check Saturday's class when we did tricks, and you'll see how I got those values. So it's basically the quadrants and so on. All right, so if you are comfortable with converting from degrees to radians and you want to do that, you can as well. Right? So you could do product rule, right? Me personally, I would I don't think I'll do product rule. I'll tell you why. Because I would expand it. F of x is x into 25 minus, I'll show you two ways, right? I'll show you why I expanded. Minus 10x plus x squared. So I'll get 25x minus 10x squared plus x cubed. So f prime x is 25 minus 20x plus 3x squared. And f double prime x is minus 20 plus 6x. Right? Now for me, it's easier for me to expand because I already see I had to differentiate twice. I'm not looking to do product rule twice. However, if you do go down that route, it's just, this is something where you either see it or you don't see it. You could go u is x and v is 5 minus x squared. So du dx is 1, right? And yeah, so for this question, you would have to, right? Adrian, also your camera on, right? So just thought I'll let you know. Right. So you get 2, 5 minus x, because this is a product rule in a chain rule, minus 1. So you get minus 2 to 5 minus x. So therefore, f prime x, v du dx, which is 5 minus x squared, minus 2x into 5 minus x. So you get 5 minus x squared minus 10x plus 10x squared. And notice, you see how I keep going, right? This just keeps going. And now f double prime x is 2 into 5 minus x by minus 1 minus 10 plus 20x, which is 10 minus 2x all right, then it's not 10. Minus 2x minus 2x, so become minus 10 plus 2x minus 10 plus 4x, which is minus 20 plus 6x. So you get the same answer, but one is clearly easier than the other one, right? Right, so notice one is much easier than the other, right? So it's a matter of saying, chain rule and product rule, I can expand that, right? But like we say, it was to the cube or to the fourth, well, you'll have to do the other one, right? Right. Differentiate the following with respect to x. This is 2 cos 3x by 3 minus sine x, which is 6 cos 3x minus sine x. So like this one, you have to use the product rule, right? So u1 plus 2x cubed by x, b x plus 2 u dx 3 to 1 plus 2x squared by 2 dv dx is 1. So v du dx is x plus 2 into 3, well, this will be 6. So 1 plus 2x squared plus 1 plus 2x cubed. And we get 6 into x plus 2, so 1 plus 2x squared plus 1 plus 2x cubed. Do we stop here? Fortunately, we don't stop here, right? Because they said simplifying your answer where possible, you're going to have to factorize, right? So I could take out 1 plus 2x squared, and I'll get 6x plus 12 plus 1 plus 2x cubed, which would be 1 plus 2x squared into 6x, well, 2x cubed plus 6x plus 13. Now you'll be asked, no, I know the question right away. So if you don't factorize, how much marks you gonna lose? Like 1 mark, right? So if you think that 1 mark, right, it's worth it for the immediate way, then don't do it, right? Only when you come back to it, then factorize it out. Remember, it's one thing to know the content, right? It's another thing to know how to approach an exam. So in the exam, so like, in my opinion, at least, when I see that for like 1 mark, I would say it's like a lot for 1 mark, you know. If I have the time, I'll come back to it and factorize. But I would just say, I could come back to that. I wouldn't bother doing it, right? Right. So with this trig question here, right? How do I get it? Remember the differential of sine ax d dx of sine ax is to a cos ax, right? So remember that. So that's how I got the 3 here, because I had to differentiate this inside here. So I get 2 cos 3x, and I multiply by that 3. No, you don't need to show the chain rule step, right? If you know how to use the chain rule, by all means, right, with trigs. But in this case here, you just need to know the basic approach here.
Wait, so say you multiply by the 3 because that's a chain rule?
So yes, it is called a chain rule, but we don't teach it as a chain rule because you all know the chain rule as a brackets, yeah? So you all know it as a trig rule, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. How I factorize the second one, I took out 1 plus 2x squared. So I took out this thing here. And it's just my brackets. Yeah, my brackets suck. Thanks, Shane. Right? I messed up bad. It's cubed. It's supposed to be 1 plus 2x. Shane saving the day once again. So this is 8x plus 13. My bad. Thank you. All right. Good. They're keeping you all on your toes, man. I'm glad. I like that. All right. So determine the stationary points. Right. So stationary points. Dy dx is equal to 3x squared minus 8x plus 4. Put that equal to 0. So we get 3x squared minus 6x minus 2x plus 4 equal to 0. 3x into x minus 2 minus 2, x minus 2, 3x minus 2, x minus 2. X is 2/3, x is 2. Now, too many of you all stop at this point. It's a point. So therefore, you need to put it in y. So y, 2/3 cubed minus 4, 2/3 squared plus 4, 2/3, 8/27 minus 16/9 plus 8/3. Right, so you differentiate twice when for the next part. The nature of the stationary points, right? So again there. Right, so everything over 27. 8 minus 60 by 3 is what? 48 plus 8 by 9 is what? So 8 by 9 is 72. So 80 minus 48, 32 over 27. Again, I don't have a calculator, forgive me, right? Which is 2 cubed minus, speaking of, after this, right? 2 squared plus 4 by 2. 8 minus 16 plus 8, 0. So the 2 points is 2/3, 32/27, 2, 0. All right. So as I was saying, right? Take the time now and go and put your calculator in your bag. Right? Use your calculator on your phone for the remainder of the class. Go and put your calculator in your bag now for exam. Right? Or a calculator. Just make sure you have a calculator in your bag before tomorrow. Right? Don't take the opportunity to do that now. I'll wait. All right, we're back. Right, so the nature of stationary point, you find d2y over dx squared, which is 6x minus 8. So you'll get 6 by 2/3 minus 8. That is minus 2. Since that is minus 4, sorry. So since that is less than 0, 2/3 32 over 27 is a max point. And 6 by 2 minus 8 is 4. Since that is greater than 0, it is a min point. Right. Integral of 4 cos theta minus 6 sin theta. All right, let's take a 2 minutes. Actually, yeah, maybe take a 2 minutes and we'll come back and finish the rest of the paper. Right, so the reason for the max and min point. So if you get d2y over dx squared is less than 0, it's a max 1. If you get greater than 0, it's a min point. You're taking this x value that you get from your point here, put it in. Likewise, again, one here and put it in. All right. So let's continue. So integral of 4 cos 4 sine theta, and the integral of sine theta is minus 6 cos theta plus c, 4 sine theta plus 6 cos theta plus c. Integral of this one. Now, I would always be an advocate for expanding, right? I'll tell you why. There is a chain rule you can apply. The integral of ax plus b to the n is ax plus b to the n plus 1 over a to n plus 1, right? But it only works for x, not x squared, x cubed, etc. So I would recommend expand it to 1. This becomes 9 minus 6x plus x squared into 1, 1. Now your calculators could do this, right? 6x squared over 2, x cubed over 3, into 1, 1. Those are the Casio. Those who don't have the Casio, you can, like me now, so we get the 9 by 2 minus 3 by 2 squared plus 2 cubed over 3 minus 9 by 1 minus 3 by 1 squared plus a third. So that is what? 18 minus 12 plus 8 over 3. That's right, that's 2 and a third. Minus 9 minus 3 plus a third. So we get 8 and 2/3 minus 6 and a third. So we get 2 and a third. Yeah. All right, but again, you could just put it in a calculator. You all have the thing now, right? I would recommend getting to this step here. So at least show them you could integrate and then plug it in a calculator. Don't put it straight in, right? Because they need to be able to see how you integrated. All right. All right. Area, the integral of 5 plus 5x minus x squared between 2 and 0. You say the x-axis, which occurs at x equals y equals 0, y-axis is at y equals 0, x equals 2. Last part. Yeah. All right. So we get 5x plus 5x squared over 2 minus x cubed over 3 between 2 and 0. 5 by 2 plus 5 by 2 squared over 2 minus 2 cubed over 3 Well, the rest could be 0. So that would be 10 plus 10 minus 8 over 3, which is 20 minus 2 and 2/3 is 17 and a third units squared. All right. A particle moves in a straight line so that t seconds after passing through a fixed point O, its acceleration is that. When t is 2, the particle has a velocity of v4 and a displacement of 6 meters from O. Find the velocity when t equals 4. So velocity is the integral of acceleration, integral of 3t minus 1, 3t squared over 2 minus t plus c. And they gave us something here. When t is 2, v is 4. So we have to solve for c. Right? So we would get, so 4, 3 by 2 squared over 2 minus 2 plus c. 4, 6 minus 2 plus c. So c is 0. So v is 3t squared over 2 minus t. So I could get, when t equals 4, v is 3 by 4 squared over 2 minus 4, which is 3 by 8 is 24 minus 4, 20 meters per second. All right. Uh, that's a good question. How would you, a very good question, right? If you leave out units, would you lose marks? You lose like half mark. I could, if the examiner allocated, to lose a whole mark. It was like lose half mark. If you integrate between 4 and 0, you're making a large assumption there that your c would be 0 because the origin, right? I would go this method just to be safe, right? If you integrate between the bounds, it's a bit tricky. It's a bit of a tricky situation. Right. think we did this, didn't we? Yeah, we did this yesterday. Right? Did we do the whole thing? Yeah, we did. We didn't do the 70, right?
So can you do it again?
So, right. So, at a school canteen, 80% of students purchase chips, 55% purchase chicken, and of those who purchase chicken, 11% do not purchase chips. So, they're saying here that 11% do not purchase chips and purchase chicken. So that means that 11% purchase chicken only. So that would mean, so K only is 11%. C intersect K would be all those who purchase chicken, which is 55, minus 11 that only purchase chicken, which is 44%. So this inside here is 44%. And those who purchase chips only would be the 80%. So chips only would be that 80% minus that 44% that purchase chicken as well, which would be 36%. Right, so there you get 1 mark here, 1 mark. So you'll get 1 mark here, 1 mark here, 1 mark here. There's out of 4, so what's missing, right? People tend to forget this one. Remember I told you yesterday to make your diagram complete, you should put it, right? So all of this adds up to 36. 36 plus 44 plus 11 is 91. So that would mean outside here would be 9%. Right? So put your outside as well. Remember, your whole Venn diagram must add up to 100%. So just be careful there, right? So that's people who just didn't buy anything. Determine the probability that a student chosen at random purchases only chicken or only chips. So we work them out. So you see what's the advantage of working them out? So that would just be 11 plus 36, which is 47%. Let's see this. All right, so the probability of E intersect B is probability E plus the probability of B minus the probability of A union B, quarter plus 3/5 minus 7/10. We're going to divide everything by 20. 5 plus 12 minus 14, which we worked out to be 8. Yeah, 3/20. My bad. Right. Probability of A given B equal to the probability of A intersect B over the probability of B, which is 3 over 20 over 3 over 5, 3 over 20 by 5 over 3 is quarter. And then state if they're independent, the probability of A times the probability of B is a quarter by 3 over 5, 3 over 20, and that is equal to the intersection. Therefore, independent. No, no, don't ever say that, right? You cannot find A intersect B by multiplying A and B, right? This, you can only use that if they state it's independent. If they didn't state it was independent, so like here, they never say it was independent, so you can't use the product, all right? Am I really going to do a stem on this diagram? Yeah. All right, guys, let me show you all how to do the step and leaf diagram, right? Like, what's the approach? Now, everybody know how to do it, right? But let me show, everybody know what to do, but it's never how to do it. Right? No, you can't write probability of B, A, and the probability of B is A times B. No. All right. So, stem and leaf diagram. So the stem. Things I do. Right. So let's see, what's the minimum value? 30. What's the maximum value? Oh, they put it. Oh, all right. So you go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I know some persons were asking, so if it doesn't start at 0, do I still start at 0? No. You start at 3. So what should I do here, right? I go, so for my 3, I go 0, 5, 9. Notice how big the spaces I'm leaving, right? And with a pencil, not a pen, with a pencil, I'm Xing off the numbers. So I make sure that I've accounted for every number. 2, 5, 5, 2, 5, 5, 2, 5, 5, 2, 9, 2, 9, 1, 1, 5, 9, 1, 1, 5, 9, 0, 1, 5, 7, 9, 0, 1, 5, 7, 9, 1, 3, 3, 5, 7, 9, 1, 3, 3, 5, 7, 9, 0, 0, 5, 8, 0, 0, 5, 8. Right, and we're done there, right? So good. No, we're not. Key. I go 5/2 means 52. All right, how much data we have? 27. Yeah, you can use any number as your key. Just make sure it's two different numbers, right? All right. State one advantage. No raw data is lost. Yeah. So like if I had put 4/4, what I mean, right? State the range of values. What is the range? Range is the highest minus lowest. 98 minus 30, 68. It's two distinct observations about the data seen in the box and whiskers plot. Two distinct, right? So the first thing is that obviously Q2 minus Q1 is greater than Q3 minus Q2. Therefore, you don't even need to say that. All you need to say is that it is negatively skewed. And you're going to be kicking yourself for this one. You don't even need to see negatively skewed. You can say the median is 71. The lower quartile is 52. And the upper quartile is 85. I know you always struggle for that second one, but it's really just obvious data, right? So these are things that you don't the median, lower quartile, upper quartile are things you calculate, so it should be there, right? All right, so we finish the paper. So this is how we'd go through one of these, right? There's one thing in kinematics I want to go over again. It's called the equations of motion. So we know, yeah. So I'll just go through that. Yeah, there's only 6 questions. Two questions out of 20 marks and 4 questions out of 15 marks. That's 100 marks, right? All right, so take a 5. I will be back. All right, so I want to go through just the last part of kinematics, right? Where they could give you like equations of motion and things. All right. So right. So very good question. Two things. One, summation cannot come for, well, I'm going to say it cannot. It does not come for paper 2, right? Let's go through that quickly. All right, the summation and rates of change. Yeah, it does come, right? But it's very rare. It can come, but no, I don't think so. I can give out some notes on the rates of change as well. No, no functions. The only functions you will get is remainder and factor theorem, right? Right. So give me 1 and 2. The displacement time, velocity time graph, these are 2 graphs you could get. The gradient is the velocity. Now that one hardly comes, right? The velocity time graph, however, the gradient is the acceleration, and the area under the graph is the displacement. Yeah, they took off functions from the syllabus. So like if you're looking at past papers and seeing like prove that it's 1-to-1, prove that it's on to, prove that that what is bijective, surjective, injective, all those things, sketchy, no, none of that, right? So functions do not come anymore. It's off the syllabus. Yeah, you don't have to worry about linear and 1-to-1 and on-to and all those things now. Right. So if you do physics, you will get it pretty well. If you don't do physics, this is why I'm here. Equation of motion. SUVAT, right? SUVAT. SUVAT. Right? SUVAT. S is displacement. U is initial velocity. Final velocity. Acceleration. Time. S is equal to ut plus a half at squared. V squared is equal to u squared plus 2as. V is equal to u plus at. The reason why we don't really touch on these as much is because one, being honest, it don't really come as much. And two, it's in your formula sheet. Yeah, it's in your formula sheet. You don't really had to bust up your brain too much. Now, back in the day, back when I was a wee lad, right, just trying to make it through life in 2014, and it was odd math. What used to happen is that so I'll actually show you all, right? So yeah, back when I was a youth, 2014, you used to have a section 2, right? Now your section 2, well, your section 4 actually, it used to be only answer one question. So what would happen? They'll give you a choice between your statistics and probability and your kinematics. So your kinematics used to come for like real marks, right? And these used to be 2 20-mark questions, and you choose one or the other. So that's when you used to be like, oh, geez, I had to learn one or the other or both, right? Now y'all don't have to, right? Y'all don't have to learn those because your kinematics coming in your calculus questions, your integration and differentiation. You don't have to worry too much about it. All right. Okay. Your key phrases. Start means t is 0. At rest, v equals 0. Constant velocity, a equals 0. Stationary, v equals 0. Right? Those are really the 4 things you need to know. All right? That's really it, right? It could kind of reason it out. Okay? All right. So I am going to call that a class, right? Now I'm gonna upload this video and send it to you all. Should send it within the hour. But last video went up pretty quickly. This one will be the same, right? Now, what I want you all to do, so this is your exam tips now. 1, do not look to go and memorize formulas that you do not know. So let me say, I'll just use an example, right? Let's say I'm just using rates of change as an example. Let's say you can't do rates of change. Don't go tonight now and say, tonight, the 22nd of May, I am going to teach myself how to do rates of change. No. Because then when you teach yourself something new, that's the first thing you remember, and the stuff that you're kind of, good at, right? You would forget, right? You would just, your mind would only be on rates of change. So don't be that hero. Firm your L. Say, all right, that's our law scores. All right, I'm not going to do that one. I won't business with it. Let me calm myself and go and practice the stuff I'm good at. Polynomials, APs, GPs, and so on, right? Second thing, don't go and burn yourself out tonight, right? Every person has a battery when it comes to math. You can't overload that battery when you do too much math, right? So you could just be like your real drill maths tonight, and then tomorrow come now, you're tired, right? Your mental capacity, right? So try and restrict yourself with how much you do tonight. Thirdly, cramming cramming does work to an extent, right? You could cram certain things. So for example, you could cram some stuff. You can't cram everything. In your exam tomorrow, let me say I cram off this, right? Let me say I cram off that. The first thing I do when I get my paper is write that at the top of the page, right? I go and write starts is t equals 0, rest is that, and so on, right? Another thing, your math is all about momentum, right? I know why you'll be saying, so that's actually physics. Math is all about momentum, right? In the sense that you start good, you would start to catch your work and thing, right? Like, yeah. So if you start off strong, things will start to click plenty. So I want you all to start with your strongest question. So your strongest question is polynomials. Start with the polynomials, right? Don't go to try and say, well, physics is, I'm not saying physics, trig is like the last thing I learned. So I'm going to try and do something now. I'm going to do that first in the exam. No, start with your strongest thing, start with that confidence boost, and then go into your exam. Make sure you save your hardest questions for last. Now, obviously, what I'm saying works generally. Everyone has their own unique situation. So if for you personally, that's not working out, right? Then ignore my advice. Do what works for you. But if you're unsure of what to do, this is the general guide, right? And next thing too, make sure your calculators, I would actually recommend setting your calculator to radians, right? Before you start the exam, because you're more likely to have radians. If not, just make sure you read on top of its degrees and whatnot. Another thing, do not forget your brackets, right? Brackets play an important part in this. right? Your inequalities, make sure you know if the graph is a minimum or a maximum and so on, right? Your logs, make sure you know your little log rules and whatnot. Make sure you know enough to put something on the paper. Do not leave any question blank. I know that's easier said than done. So what if I don't do anything? Every question has something somebody knows. Even if it's like a real hard circle question, you can put the area of a circle and so on, right? And tonight, just take it easy, guys. Now, obviously, I'm not going to tell you, don't go and sweat out 20 games of foot champs. You know, don't go and do whatever you'll have to do. None of that. But I'm saying take it easy tonight. You can do a light reading, talk to your brethren and whatnot. If your brethren's stressing you out, so like if somebody tell you something about the test that you did today, like the bio test, and you getting tied up, don't talk about the test. I personally have a motto where I don't talk about a test after I finish it. I think you all should adopt that as well. All right, so best of luck, guys. I'll be there tomorrow, right? I usually like to say a small prayer, right? So I'll meet you all maybe in front by 8:15. I have a class in 1-2, so I'll just run away for like 2 minutes, come and say the prayer with you guys, and we'll you'll head off the exams. If there's any questions, message me. I may not reply right away because it's more than one student messaging at a time, but I will get back to you. All right. So best of luck, guys. I'm gonna upload the video now. Anything y'all need, hit me a message, and y'all got this, right? Y'all put in 2 years of hard work. Some of y'all put in a little less, some of y'all put in a little more, but everyone here has put in some measure of effort, and we have this, right? All right, guys. So I will see you all tomorrow.
I'd say thanks.
Later, sir.
Bye, sir.
Great day, sir.